We do.
Could you address, RFW is not a member of Survival Coalition, and we can talk a little bit about why RFW pulled themselves out of Survival Coalition, because that's probably
before me.
That was before you, that was for you. But maybe Thomas, you can maybe talk about that, just a tidbit.
Well, before Tom came along, I think maybe the lines were drawn a little more clearly in the sand. I appreciate Tom's willingness to sit down and talk with people, because at that time, RFW felt like we were being cut out of some discussions around employment, and that choice was not being a value that was really embraced by the Survival Coalition. There was sort of an embracing of a group that was really pro-community employment, anti-center-based employment, and we didn't feel like our voices being heard. So that's why we stepped away. We always could step back, and I don't know that we've had a discussion on that, but we've been having some talks.
Right.
And for example, Tom and Barb and I met with Jody Hanna, and we had an opportunity to talk about areas in which we would cooperate. And one of the areas that we wanted to cooperate, he's already mentioned two of them. One is expanding integrated employment. We actually have proposals, which I've talked to you about before, to expand integrated employment to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot at it, and that the funding is sufficient to make sure people get the support they need, not just at the beginning with DBR, but on an ongoing basis. And right now, we've got managed care organizations that don't seem to think that people need the ongoing support. And I know that the state is concerned about that, and we're very concerned about that, and that's why we've made a proposal to move those dollars over to DWD and have them administer it separately. And the other big area that we're really, I think, in sync on happens to be with family care and some of these issues with discharge notices. When you ask the question about what criteria they're using, it ends up being dollars and cents over time, because if you have some of these rates being cut 40, 50, 60, 70%, providers can no longer afford to deliver a service, and some are going out of business. Lutheran Social Services has gone out of that group home business completely because they can't figure out how to make it work financially. And it's not just those big operations, those big corporate providers like Lutheran Social Services and Homes for Independent Living. It's also groups like your little small mom and pop providers, like adult family home providers that only provide services to 3 or 4 people or even 2 people that are saying, I can't do this anymore. And Rock Pladel is the attorney who brought the lawsuit. Some of our organizations have been supporting him to make sure that he can stand up for the rights of people to reside in their homes and continue residing there. But one of the things he says is that some of those providers are going broke and they don't even know it. They haven't figured out yet because they're putting things on the credit card and they're trying to make it work. They're trying to patch things together, and eventually they may say they can get by with the rate cut right now, but 3 months from now they may have to throw in the towel. So I don't think we've seen the end of this yet, and what the lawsuit is asking for is some expertise at the national level to be brought in to create a rate structure that's not going to discriminate against people with developmental disabilities. And that's the whole purpose of that lawsuit, is to make sure that people get treated fairly.
And our concern on that is as individuals receive these notices, and because the provider rates are shrinking, what's going to happen? Are individuals, we're all about community placement, are individuals going to end up in a nursing home, in a CVRF, or are they going to open up a facility to, because there's no providers out there willing to provide care for the individuals. So that's our concern in this, is that, and the response that we're getting is that it's a good thing that individuals are receiving notices to be in place, in a smaller setting. We agree with that. However, if it's truly member-centered, and that the member has a choice in that, then it should be written into the member's plan that there is a process for moving into the community. It should not be 25 members are going to receive a notice in 1 month saying you have to move.